Welcome to this month's Tour America and Cruise Holidays show. Today we have a jam-packed itinerary for you, and first up with the cruises we have an extraordinary offer on an Alaskan cruise and a Rocky Mountaineer tour. We're then going to head off on a Transatlantic cruise on board the Norwegian Epic, and then to finish it all off we have a brilliant Greek Isles cruise on the Norwegian Jade.
For your land lovers, we have absolutely the biggest attraction in Florida is the Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. And if that's not enough for you, we have the fabulous beaches of Fort Myers and Sanibel.
But first up, we are delighted to have Natalie here with us today. Now, Natalie is one of our senior sales consultants here in Tour America. And Natalie, you were lucky enough to go on the Rocky Mountaineer.
I was indeed, yeah. Thankfully in September I was able to go on Rocky Mountaineer. I went eastbound from Vancouver to Banff. Okay. Fantastic trip. I have nothing but good to say about it. The way that I done it was I boarded the Rocky Mountaineer in Vancouver. We went then 2 days on the train. The first day obviously seeing some fabulous sites like Fraser Canyon and Hell's Gate. An overnight in Kamloops would be included then in that, the first night. Second night then is the most spectacular part where you're really going through to see the Rocky Mountains, and you spend the whole day on the train then the second day as well.
Now Natalie, there's different categories of service on board the Rocky Mountaineer. Tell us a bit about that and what one did you do?
Yeah, so there are 3 levels of service. So your lead-in, your best price would be your red leaf service. The way I would most describe red leaf would be similar to maybe a train you would take, say, from Dublin to Cork, the more luxury, the nicer trains. That would be the level of window that you would have. But in that category, for example, it would be all cold foods and you would only get a beverage, alcoholic beverage with your dinner. The next level up would be silver leaf. Silver leaf would have a full dome window, so you would have a panoramic view of the Rocky Mountains, and you would get hot service and alcohol included, but you would have it at your seat. Okay, so gold leaf was the level that I went in. Now gold leaf is the highest category in Rocky Mountaineer, and my personal opinion, it is the best and the only way to go. I mean, gold leaf would be the category that does sell out the quickest. The main differences there between that set and your silver leaf is that you would have more view and space. The dome windows are totally transparent, they're total glass dome windows, so your panoramic view would be much better. There is a main dining cart downstairs, so you go downstairs and you sit down for dining, and it's like a 3-4 course meal with choices and that, and the food is just fantastic. It is a once in a lifetime trip, so you would be catering into your really big holiday. I mean, couples that tend to travel tend to enjoy it together, groups of people together on it as well. I mean, it isn't anything mad or crazy or busy. It's quite a relaxed trip, but I mean, anyone could go on it if they're really into seeing the scenery of the Rocky Mountains.
And can I ask a question? I always have this perception that on the Rocky Mountaineer that you sleep on the train, but you actually don't, do you?
No, you don't. And funny enough, a lot of people have said that to me when I come back. What's it like sleeping on the train? You actually do not sleep on the train. The night in between, you stay in a place called Kamloops. I mean, Kamloops, there's nothing majorly spectacular about Kamloops itself. It really is just somewhere to get off and unwind and, you know, just have dinner and chill for the night and get back on the train the next day and stay in your nice hotel for the night. But no, you do not sleep on the train.
I always thought you did. Now, where did you fly into?
So I flew into Vancouver.
Okay.
It's really good to team up with staying in Vancouver for a few nights. So we stayed in Vancouver for a few nights and then we boarded the train. We were on the train as far as Banff, and then we stayed a few nights around Banff, because Banff National Park, Lake Louise, stunning places and definitely worth seeing. So we stayed there for a few nights, and then the best thing to do is then Calgary's only an hour and 20 minutes from Banff, so you fly out of Calgary.
Brilliant. It sounds like a holiday of a lifetime, doesn't
It really does. And I actually saw some of Natalie's photographs when she returned, and I couldn't believe, it looked like she was superimposed on these amazing places.
Yeah, it's probably one of the greatest holidays I've ever been on.
Oh, fantastic. Well, if you want an even better holiday, on today's show with our offer, we're teaming up the Rocky Mountaineer with an Alaskan cruise.
Natalie, thanks so much for coming in today and sharing that great experience with us. If any of our customers have any more questions or would like to maybe get some more information from Natalie directly, she's in our offices here on Middle Abbey Street, and she'd be absolutely thrilled, I'm sure, to answer any more questions that you might have. Now, Natalie's trip just to me sounded amazing, and I've done the Alaska cruise, which is out of Vancouver, so you could actually do the Vancouver trip, do your Alaska cruise, and then either before or after your cruise do that trip that Natalie has talked about. The Alaska cruise for me is the most memorable. It really stands out to me above all of the cruises that I've actually experienced. It's the most peaceful, most serene cruise. It's almost like you just take a step back in time. I took this cruise in September time when it was quite cool, so it was really exciting to be able to just kind of wrap up really warm in your winter clothes, your hat, your scarf, your gloves. If you go and you know that that's what you're going to experience, you're going to have the most amazing time coming back on board from shore, and being handed like hot toddies and hot chocolates and nice warm drinks, and just everyone's, you know, in great form and great spirits after having a fabulous day off the ship. Another big part of Alaska and the cruise there is the wildlife. Now, I was really lucky to see a bear, and that was my highlight for the trip because I really, really wanted to see a bear, and I got to see it in its own natural habitat. And you can even see where the salmon are swimming upriver, and all their heads are torn off from the bears, and they just throw them back into the rivers and they never make it home. So it's really sad, but so amazing to see.
Celebrity cruises really emphasize fine dining, indulgence. The service is impeccable, and it really, really is doing an amazing itinerary on an amazing ship. It's fab, isn't it, Emer?
Celebrity to me are one of the more refined cruises that you'll find out there. Everything is 5-star the whole way. So from your dining to even you have a wine sommelier in your dining room at dinner to help you choose the perfect wine to go along and complement your meal.
Yeah.
And that's all included. So you don't even have to think about it. It's just done.
Yeah, and the entertainment on board is fantastic. From your Broadway shows to your comedians to your pianist, there is absolutely something for everyone on board. So after you've been out doing the Alaskan thing all day and you're absolutely exhausted, there's nothing nicer than going into the bar, sitting back, having a glass of wine and listening to the piano. It's just absolute indulgence.
Yeah. And on top of all of that entertainment that there is to do at the end of your day, you've also got this great spa on board. That is amazing, and they've got beautiful heated lounges that you can just lie on. They're these stone lounges facing out to sea, and then you're just panned out either by the pool in the solarium or on one of these lovely stone lounges, and it's just the most amazing experience.
And now we have a brilliant offer for you. Not only does our offer include the fabulous Alaskan cruise, but we've teamed it up with the Rocky Mountaineer, so you are getting 2 incredible experiences in one holiday. Let's have a look. 11-night Alaskan cruise and Rocky Mountaineer from $2,349 per person. Price includes flights to Vancouver and returning from Calgary, including all taxes and charges. 1 night accommodation in Vancouver, followed by 7 nights on board Celebrity Millennium. Calling at Vancouver, Inside Passage, Juneau, Alaska, Skagway, Alaska, the Hubbard Glacier, Ketchikan in Alaska, Inside Passage and back to Vancouver. Followed by a 2-day Rocky Mountaineer, Vancouver to Calgary, calling at Kamloops, Banff and finishing in Calgary. Also included is 1 night accommodation in Calgary. This price is based on 2 adults sharing, departing September 2012. Please quote reference 403326. So leaving the cooler climates of Alaska, we're heading down to Florida to board the Norwegian Epic. Now this is a once-off sailing, transatlantic. So you will be sailing from Miami to Barcelona on this incredible ship. The Norwegian Epic really is something else, isn't it, Emer?
It is, and I have to say, doing it as a transatlantic cruise, it's an 11-night itinerary, gives you the full advantage of being able to experience everything that the Norwegian Epic has to offer.
The Norwegian Epic has over 19 dining options. So when you're doing a transatlantic cruise, obviously you're going to be at sea for a number of days. Therefore, the variety on board the Norwegian Epic is brilliant. So if you want Thai one night, Mexican another, or you just want your Sunday roast, it's all available on board. So from all the dining options, the bars, everything, there really is something for everyone, isn't there, Emer?
There is, yeah. And to the days at sea, again, you have the full water park at sea.
Oh, love it.
So,
yeah.
I mean, where else would you see that except on the Norwegian Epic? They even have the first big bowl slide at sea, and that's great fun, and everybody really enjoys a go down that.
Oh, I was up and down it about 10 times a day when I was on it. Just grab your donut, head up the slide and come flying down. It's for adults, it's for children, it's for everyone.
It's a great way to get a great tan as well.
True, yeah. Sailing across the Atlantic, lying by the pool, and then if you're feeling a bit too warm, head down to the ice bar. There's actually a bar on board that's completely made of ice.
Yeah, that's right. You've got the Svetka ice bar where everything in the bar is totally made of ice. So they give you these lovely fur-lined robes to wear when you're going in, lovely big hoods on them. But you do need to make a reservation for that bar when you're on board.
But the great thing is, because you're on the Transatlantic cruise, because you've all that time at sea, you definitely will get a chance to get in. Because sometimes if you're on a short cruise and you're at a different port every day, sometimes you miss the facilities on board the ship. But with this one, you'll get to experience everything. Now, one of my favourite things was the Spiegel tent, okay? So it's like a themed circus show. So you're sitting there having your dinner, having your glass of wine, and there's all these acrobats and aerialists and everything all around you. It really is something else. Now, a small supplement does apply to go to the Spiegel tent, but it's well worth it. And one other show to mention is the Blue Man Group. Obviously, the Blue Man Group have taken the world by storm. So can you imagine seeing them in the middle of the Atlantic while you're sailing? Like, it would just be something else. So not only are you at sea, you also get to hit Ponta Delgada in Portugal. And then your last port of call is Barcelona. So if you want to extend your stay at the end of the cruise in Barcelona, that's no problem at all. Any of our agents will be able to recommend hotels in Barcelona, and then it's just a short flight back to Dublin.
That sounds great.
It is. As I say, I love the idea of a transatlantic cruise in order to experience everything the ship has to offer.
Well, you definitely get great value for money on it.
Oh, 100%. If you think all your meals, all your entertainment, everything is included. So for an 11-night cruise, you don't really need to put your hand in your pocket unless it's buying alcoholic drinks if you're eating one of the specialty restaurants on board. But apart from that, oh, the kids...
Yep, but you can buy an all-inclusive soda package for the kids once you get on board, so that solves their problems too.
Very good. Well, let's have a look at this brilliant offer. 11-night transatlantic cruise from $499 per person. Price includes 11 nights on board Norwegian Epic, based on 2 adults sharing, departing in April 2012. Included in the offer is dinner for 2 in the steakhouse restaurant and $50 spa credit. Departing from Miami, followed by 8 days at sea, then Ponta Delgada in Portugal and Barcelona in Spain. Please quote reference number 400921.
Our next offer brings us right around the Greek islands. Absolutely stunning itinerary. It starts in Venice. Now Venice itself is an amazing city, so I mean we can actually do a stay before the cruise or after the cruise if you prefer to do that in Venice as well and kind of capture the romance of that before you board the cruise. The cruise itself will take you from Venice right through to Corfu, to Santorini, to Olympia in Greece, and it comes back around to Venice again, so it's a stunning itinerary.
And you get to do this brilliant itinerary on an incredible ship. The Norwegian Jade is something else, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's freestyle cruising, so you can eat where you want, when you want, and wear what you want. The entertainment on board is brilliant, from your Broadway shows, your musicals, to your comedians and your trapeze artists. Like it actually has a bit of everything. And what I love about the Norwegian Jade, do you know what it is?
What?
My guilty pleasure. Karaoke. They have their very own karaoke booths. There's no charge. You can book yourself in, go in with a few friends and just have such a good time. It's absolutely brilliant.
I can see you there. Jennifer's our big karaoke queen, so that would be one up for the books for you.
Oh, brilliant.
What I love as well, they have some amazing dining options on board the Jade, and one of my favourites is the steakhouse. So it's Cagney's Steakhouse. It's a slight supplement on board, but it's well worth it. You'll never get a steak like it anywhere else.
The Norwegian Jade is brilliant for families. From the arcade for the kids club, they even have a bowling alley. And then for the parents, you've got the likes of the spa. Now, I did the spa on the Norwegian Jade, and it's literally at the very, very front of the ship, and you can lie out and just look at the views all around you. So while mum relaxes in the spa, dad hits the bowling alley, and the kids are in the kids club, it's just for everyone.
That's fantastic. And there's even a little mini water park on board as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the kids can go up there and splash around in the pools and use the slides. It's great fun for them too.
This is an exciting and exclusive offer to Cruise Holidays, where you're seeing some incredible destinations from the beautiful port of Venice. And by booking with Cruise Holidays, we're throwing in dinner for 2 in Le Bistro French restaurant on board and a complimentary bottle of wine on arrival in your stateroom. So what a better way to start your holiday? So let's have a look at this exclusive offer. 7-night Greek Isles cruise from $689 per person. Price includes 7 nights on board Norwegian Jade, based on 2 adults sharing, departing in June 2012. Departing from Venice, visiting Corfu in Greece, Santorini in Greece, Mykonos in Greece, Olympia in Greece, and back to Venice in Italy. This offer includes dinner for 2 in the Le Bistro French restaurant and a bottle of wine in your stateroom. Please quote reference 403227.
As promised, we have one of Florida's biggest attractions, which is Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. And here today with us, we're delighted to have Carl Moan, who is the Sales Promotion Manager in Ireland for Disney Destinations International. So Carl, welcome to our sofa.
Thank you, it's great to be on your sofa.
We're so happy that you could join us today.
Thank you.
We know that obviously Walt Disney World Resort in Florida is one of the biggest attractions for the Irish market, and we really, we're hopeful that you can just share with all of our customers everything that there is to know about Disney. Okay, so Carl, tell us, why would one of our customers stay at a Disney Destination Resort hotel?
Well, I suppose to experience the true magic of Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. It's in an area of 76 square kilometres, and we have 4 theme parks and 2 water parks, so it's quite expansive. And there's an awful lot to do. So if you stay within it, you're right in the heart of the magic. And you can enjoy all the elements then of being part of the magic. We've the whole downtown Disney area where we've got shopping and entertainment. La Nuba from Cirque du Soleil, which is just available to view in Walt Disney World. That show isn't put on by La Nuba anywhere else in the world. We have Marketplace, which is in downtown Disney with all the Disney shops, and then you are right beside all of the Disney attractions and the water parks. So when you're staying in a Disney Resort hotel, literally from the moment you arrive at the airport, you become our guest, because you can get on the Disney's Magical Express. It's a free service that delivers you right to your resort hotel. Then as you're staying in one of our resort hotels, you can actually sign up for the Disney Dining Plan. The Disney Dining Plan is, you pay for it before you go. It offers extensive savings on actually buying meals at Walt Disney World Resort and using our restaurants and hotels. So you have Disney's Magical Express to bring you to your resort, then you've got the Disney Dining Plan. And if you're staying in a Disney hotel, you can also use Disney's Extra Magical Hours, which means you can go into the parks after hours when other guests are heading home, and you go on the most popular rides that remain open late into the evening. And then part of the entire package, depending on which resort you're staying in Walt Disney World, you don't actually need a car. We've got complimentary transport all around the resort. So when you land at the airport, you take Disney's Magical Express to your hotel. You've got Disney's Dining Plan, which covers you for your dining while at the resort, so your budget's completely covered while you're staying with us. You've got Disney's Extra Magical Hours if you want to go into the park and have a bit of fun with your family after their hours when other people are going home. And you've also got Disney's complimentary transport to bring you around the resort, whether it be by the monorail, by boat or by coach. And just to kind of explain, this is your key to the world. So when you stay with us, this is your room key. You can also put your dining plan on it. You can have it charged, so everything that you purchase gets charged to your room. You can have those things delivered to the shop within the hotel you're staying in, so you don't have to carry them around for the day. And this will also have your dining plan on it. So the key to the world, Walt Disney World's key to the world, which is your room key, covers you for everything while you're there as well. That's all part of being a Disney hotel guest.
Okay, Carl, one of my favourite parks was definitely Disney's Magic Kingdom. Now, it was great when we arrived, we got the little boat across.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was with my parents, now as an adult, and even seeing their faces as grown adults walking into Disney was just incredible. So it really is for everybody.
I think it's absolutely for everybody. So for me, it's for adults and children alike, and I think we all become children in the Disney parks anyway, particularly say in the evenings when you watch the Wishes illuminations over the Magic Kingdom, over Cinderella's castle. It turns you into a 4-year-old every time I watch it.
Now, Carl, I've never been to Disney Epcot. Tell us what it's all about, and what does Epcot actually stand for?
Epcot stands for Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. And it comes from the World Showcase, which Walt was involved in New York before the resort was actually built. And the idea was to showcase the world within the whole Walt Disney World resort in Florida. And that area originally became Epcot's World Showcase. And it now has Future World with it as well. So it's an area pretty much of discovery. Various aspects of the world on the one hand, and then other discoveries, if you like, space, test track, under the sea, that whole area of experimentation and discovery and education.
Now, another park that I loved when I went back again to Florida was the Animal Kingdom, Disney's Animal Kingdom. And the biggest thing that struck me there was one of my favourite movies is A Bug's Life, and the actual tree, the Tree of Life, is there in the middle of the park, and you can go into it.
The Tree of Life is amazing, actually, and the carvings on it are absolutely fantastic. And I think that kind of shows you the whole storyline that is Walt Disney World and the whole story behind everything that we do. Strangely enough, in Disney's Animal Kingdom, one of my favourite rides is Everest, because of the whole Yeti thing and the fact that you know, you get to actually see the Yeti. But then the theming on the way up, when you pass what is effectively the hostel, and it's got all the flags on it and the runners hanging out the window and people's luggage left behind, and of course you've got to go on the safari. I mean,
yeah, I liked that actually a lot, but I wasn't brave enough to go on the
Everest.
the Everest. Next time maybe.
Oh, you have to, because just for the theming alone and to see the whole story behind it, you definitely have to go next time.
And let's not forget one of my other favourites, Disney's Hollywood Studios. Like, this is just an incredible park.
Yeah, Disney's Hollywood Studios, you really get the taste and glamour of the show business and the movies. Everything from Toy Story Mania to the studio tour. It also is one of my favourite roller coasters in the Rock and Roll roller coaster featuring Aerosmith, which takes you from their recording studio in LA to the far side of town to where they're in concert. And you happen to be in the recording studio and they invite you along as one of their fans to go. So you get into a stretch limo and you go across LA with a police escort. I leave the rest to your imagination, but yeah, the Hollywood Studio is a fun place.
So after you've experienced all these parks, the weather is fabulous in the Florida sunshine and you want to cool down, Disney have two really unique water parks. Tell us a bit about them.
Well, the two water parks are Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon. Typhoon Lagoon tells the story of a typhoon hitting a tropical island. And you get to see all the things that you'd expect to see on a tropical island, like there's a fruit canning plant. It just happens to be part of one of the water rides within the actual water park, but it's completely themed as you would expect a tropical island to look after a typhoon has gone through it. Blizzard Beach, on the other hand, the story goes that it snowed in Florida. And you ended up with the coolest water park of the whole lot. So you have all of the things you'd experience at a ski resort, except they're part of the Disney water park in Blizzard Beach.
Carl, thanks so much. You've given us some very invaluable information there, and those water parks sound amazing, and those little tips you've given there definitely are invaluable to everybody. Just give us one final last tip that you would say that's just a not miss thing.
Well, Jennifer, Emer, the one tip I would have is take your ticket, your key to the world card, and use FastPass. FastPass at Walt Disney World Resort in Florida is free. It's the quickest way to get on our most popular rides. FastPass, it's free, use it.
Well, you heard it here from the expert, FastPass is the way to go. Now listen, Carl, thanks a million for taking time out to see us today, and we really appreciate it.
Not at all, thank you both. Thank you very much.
Well, let's have a look at our exclusive offer. Walt Disney World offer, travelling in May 2012, 2 adults and 2 children, staying 7 nights in the Disney Port Orleans Resort, including airport transfers, Disney free quick dining plan for only $7.50 per person. Quote reference 402143.
That was a great interview there with Carl from Disney, and he really got me excited about what there is to do in Orlando, Florida. But if the beaches are more your thing, we have some beautiful offers here for you for the Fort Myers and Sanibel beach areas, which are in the southwest Gulf Coast area of Florida. Sanibel is made up of barrier islands, and they're connected to the mainland by a 3-mile causeway. They're basically nature has made these islands as a protection against the mainland, and it's absolutely stunning, unspoiled beaches and sanctuaries. You've got miles of nature trails and heritage trails. It's just absolutely beautiful, powder white sandy beaches.
Oh, that's what I love. It's literally your crystal clear waters, your powdery beaches, and it's just a place to relax, unwind, chill out, and just indulge yourself in all that's around you.
Yeah, what I really loved, I've actually been lucky enough years ago now to visit Sanibel, and what really stood that out from me from other beach areas on the Gulf Coast was the unspoiled beach areas and the shells that are all over the shores. And that's actually one of the activities that they really recommend you can go and do when you're there, is to go shelling and maybe do some of the kayaking up along the coast. It's just super exciting.
What I love about Sanibel is there's no high rises, it's all low rise. The streets are lined with palm trees. It's really, really quaint, really clean, and you just feel like you're gone back in time or something. And where Sanibel is located on the Gulf Coast, you're only 3.5 hours from Orlando and 2 hours from Miami. So it's the ideal place to team up with a city break and then just escape to tranquility. It's absolutely beautiful.
As Jennifer mentioned, it's all low-rise buildings on Sanibel. Like the tallest building is as tall as the tallest palm tree that lines the streets. And they've really taken great care to keep out any of those intrusions from the modern world. They have no stop signs anywhere, or stop lights even, I should say. And there's no McDonald's anywhere on the island. You won't find those golden arches anywhere on Sanibel.
Now, if Sanibel, as beautiful as it is, if it's a little too quiet for you, just down the road, there's Fort Myers. Now, Fort Myers, it's a little bit more built up, but you still have your pristine beaches, again, your palm trees, but it's just a little livelier. In downtown Fort Myers, there's a strip, and you have loads of boutiques and restaurants and galleries. You have the museum there as well. So it's a different sort of...
It's a completely different vibe, really,
Yeah,
isn't it? You're
yeah.
just kind of getting a kind of a taste of a city break, but so close to the beach.
Exactly, it's quite arty.
Very much so.
Isn't it? Yeah. So if you're into your art and your history, it's definitely the place for you. Now, one interesting fact I found about Fort Myers is that Thomas Edison and Henry Ford had their winter homes here. So if you're a little bit of an entrepreneur and you're looking for inspiration, it worked for Edison and Ford.
Absolutely. Another really unique aspect to Sanibel and Fort Myers beach areas is that they are very unique in their food that you'll find along there. You won't find the usual chain of food stores. You'll get your bistro styles, and because obviously you're right on the Gulf Coast there, you're going to have fresh Gulf seafood daily, and you'll find magnificent seafood restaurants. They even have an annual shrimp festival there in Sanibel and Fort Myers as well, and if you're there for that, absolutely amazing. You're never going to see any amount of shrimp cooked in every possible way that you can imagine.
So for all you foodies out there that love fine dining, seafood, and to enjoy all the bistros, this is definitely the area of Florida for you. And when you book Fort Myers or Sanibel with Tour America, you will get your very own guide. Now, this is like a Bible, isn't it, Emer?
It is. It really has everything that there is to offer. It means you won't miss anything that there is to do there.
It has all the recommended bars, restaurants, the tours you can do, from a lunch cruise to dolphin watching, to the nature trails, and it's full of history as well. So really, this is your Bible when going to Sanibel and Fort Myers. And as I said, it's so accessible. Whether you're flying into Orlando, Fort Myers itself, or Miami, you can just drive around and really experience. It's like paradise. You can totally relax, chill, and enjoy the Florida sunshine. Well, we would love to go on and on about Fort Myers and Sanibel, but we have to move on, so we have two incredible offers for you. Let's have a look. Sanibel Beach from $889 per person. This includes return flights to Fort Myers, including all taxes and airport charges, 7 nights accommodation in the Holiday Inn Sanibel Island, based on 2 adults and 2 kids sharing, departing in May 2012. Please quote reference 403494. Fort Myers Beach from $889 per person, including return flights to Fort Myers, all taxes and airport charges, 7 nights accommodation in the Diamond Head Beach Resort, based on 2 adults and 2 children sharing, departing in May 2012. Please quote reference 403492.
So that was a jam-packed show. Thanks so much for watching. We hope we've given you some inspiration for your next holiday.
To avail of any of these exclusive offers, call us on the numbers below, or why not pop into us on 62 Middle Abbey Street in Dublin or on Patrick Street in Cork. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. See you next time.
Bye.